My question for us is, do you want more? Many of us are just afraid of more. We're afraid of what would it like if God gave us more. I'm not talking about more money, but maybe more money.
Wow.
Maybe it is. In the Bible, there are things that look like contradictions. They're not contradictions, they're just showing us the full breadth of truth. Truths in the Bible exist with intention. God is one, and God is triune. God tells us to walk by faith. We're justified by faith, and yet, if we don't have any works, we have no faith.
Wow.
God is sovereign, God's in control, and yet I am to steward my life and take control of my life.
Right.
So what is it? Is it 1, 3? Is it faith, works? Is it God control me? Well, yes, that's the tension. Here's another one. I'm supposed to be content in every circumstance,
Right.
and yet I'm to want to be blessed. I'm to be content in every circumstance, and yet I am to go after things that could benefit me. One of the sermons that people don't talk about is when David goes before Goliath, he asks, what will be done for the man who takes down Goliath?
Wow.
Because he wants more. That as an early point in life, he wants more, and he's not disqualified for that. And preachers, when they talk about this chapter of Scripture, we oftentimes stop with Uzzah. There you go. Don't be Uzzah, don't touch it or it'll fall off or you'll die or something like that. You're Uzzah, don't touch it, because us preachers, the easiest sermons for us to give are the condemnation ones. The easiest sermons for us to give are that you can't do that, don't drink that, don't touch that, don't go there. Just rules and anger and God still smites kind of sermons, which he does, by the way. He does still smite. But those kind of things, speaking as a pastor, are incredibly easy to give. I can fall out of bed easily and make someone feel, poorly. But that was just a setup to David wanting more. Maybe it is that our life is not going forward because we really don't want more. Maybe we're in the position we're in with our country because those of us who have faith are content to just let things unfold and just wait for things to go better instead of wanting more. David goes to get more. Now, it's fascinating. He goes and he gets the Ark of the Covenant, and this time he does it by the book. He's got priests, he got everything going on, and they start walking 1, 2, taking steps, 4, 5, 6. He says, so stop, 6 steps, stop. We're gonna have a worship service here right now. Brings in cattle and they slaughter and give it to the Lord, the worship service, and everything. Okay, good, okay. Let's do it again. Let's just keep going. 1, 2, 6 steps. Stop right here. Let's have a worship service right here. It's like, you told me earlier, I didn't even know the exact length of distance. How long did you think it was?
About 5 miles. Yeah.
5 miles.
Modern day Abu Ghosh,
Okay.
just right on in between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, is where the historic spot that you're talking about, where the Ark was rested there for that length of time.
years.
Yeah, 20 years.
So 5 miles.
Roughly.
Every 6 steps,
Can you imagine?
he has a worship service
Up
and he
and down hills.
sacrifices an animal.
Yeah.
And he has I think he's at this point he's aggressively wanting to give God worship and praise. He's like, God, I don't want to screw this up. And the Bible nowhere says you should do a 6-step worship service with it, but he aggressively goes overboard.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to make sure I get this right. I wish we had that attitude in our worship in
Right.
churches.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're hopefully past the days of criticizing people who raise their hands in worship and all that stuff.
Yes.
Most people are past that. We need to be, in our worship, we need to be aggressive.
Yes.
In our times of prayer, we need to be aggressive.
Yes.
You know why prayer meetings are so boring? Because everyone just goes passive on them. You can't have a prayer meeting that's stimulating if everyone just sits there and just is silent. You gotta be walking. You gotta be excited. We did some work in South Africa. We've come to know it as praying South African style, where the whole church prays simultaneously.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
cacophony. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Beautiful cacophony of sound.
Let me jump in and ask and make sure I'm tracking correctly. You're talking, I mean, if you had a title for your message is wanting more, it's holy to want more. It's, taken from this life of David. And you've already pointed out that a lot of Scripture is dynamically in opposition. Jesus said, "The first shall be last. The least among you will be the greatest." I mean, so
Okay. But what's his incentive? The least among you be the greatest. If he wasn't trying to incentivize us for more, he wouldn't have told us the least or the greatest.
there you go.
You
Yeah.
know, all the scriptures about unique rewards in heaven are there to specifically entice us. The problem is we're enticed with too many things of the world.
Yeah.